Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Geekswagg
yeah.
podcast in your face, babies. We back. How
Like
y'all
you can
doing?
admit, baby.
How's it
Is it
going
raining?
over there, people? Who all we have today? Who we have today? We
We
got
got
Bunny. We
we
got
got some
Bunny,
pig.
and we got
We got some.
who this
Got
is?
some.
Who this is?
Who
This
this
is
is?
Makita. What's happening,
Yeah,
girl?
Nikita, I'm here for my friend Coffee.
And of course, we have the dirtiest.
That's right. Tonight I'll be debuting my eating of chicken.
Oh Lord, have
Okay,
mercy.
because I haven't had to have dinner just to make it out here with y'all people. One viewer.
Y'all people.
Yeah, but
Why
don't
we
be
gotta be y'all
smacking.
people?
Don't
Exactly,
be
man.
smacking all up in the camera, all up in the mic, everything. Talking about,
Uh, this is some
Yeah,
tasty.
because Makita's got to get the gulping sounds while she drinking her coffee. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Gulp, gulp,
But
gulp.
ladies and
Chicken.
gentlemen, welcome. It is episode 8, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally getting to that double digit, to those double digits of the episodes it is. But as you know, we are trying this whole new format and everything, trying to show you guys that the illest geeks alive have more dimensions to us than just gaming all the
That's
time.
right.
We
And chicken.
have mostly gaming, mostly chicken. At times we got coffee also, but we have plenty of other things that we are able to divulge to the world because geekdom is for everyone, and we about to show y'all how to get deeper.
That's right. Because next week I'm eating chicken. This week. Next week BJ gonna be smoking crack.
Lord have mercy.
No?
Why do we let him on here, girl? I don't even know anymore.
I told you. I told you to get rid of him a long time ago. I told you
Damn.
that.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show for you guys today. We've got different things to talk about in our selective segments that we typically do. Like we got a little info from Jason doing some PlayStation TV, talking about Windows 10. We're also going to get into a little bit of engineering news and talk about maker spaces in the classroom. And what else did I say I was going to talk about? Some other little things. Makita, what was your little segmento that we haven't quite named yet? What was your segment going to delve into today?
Oh, let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Hollywood just comes up with anything.
Oh,
I think one of our most nostalgic games that pretty much anybody in the podcast have played is Tetris. That's, everybody knows what Tetris is.
ooh,
Love the
yeah.
Tetra.
Right. You have tons and tons of themed Tetris games, but what would you think if somebody said, I would like to make a movie about Tetris? Yeah. So that is going to happen. It's actually supposed to be a sci-fi movie. Yes.
I don't even know how you go. Like what the blocks are going to be like people. It's like,
I don't know.
How do you do that?
I don't know what is going on. The only reason why I was kind of I was just slightly intrigued was because the producer of the first 2 Mortal Kombat movies and the show, I believe his name is Larry Kasanoff.
Uh-huh.
He is the one who came up with the idea of making a sci-fi movie about Tetris. I'm going to read you the quote he says. He says, everyone knows that Tetris...
in other words, ladies and gentlemen, we going right into McKee's segment right now. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, snap.
I'm just letting them know. And this coffee goes everywhere.
This coffee has me sped up. This coffee has me sped up. Okay, so
let's go, girl. Let's do
no,
it.
I really am. So sorry about that. But anyway, so the quote is, everyone knows that Tetris is one of the best known, most beloved brands in the world. True.
Right.
What everyone doesn't know yet is this epic sci-fi story that we're going to tell. That's what's really exciting. We look forward to partnering with Threshold Entertainment to reimagine that common experience and bring a spectacular new Tetris universe to the big screen for the first time. In this new universe, as you'll soon find out, there's much more to Tetris than simply clearing lines. Right.
Wow.
I understand that you're trying to sell me this.
Wow.
But-
Is it like in Russian or something?
That's hilarious.
I'm
But
just
no,
wondering, I'm
it's
just
not.
curious because it's the whole Russian thing, Russian music and
No,
everything.
I
That's all
get
I'm
it.
looking for.
I get it, but like I feel like it's a reach. I feel like it's a
That's
what
a
could you
huge
possibly
reach.
that's a phenomenal reach. Like that is like Stretch Armstrong reach and he is like doing the most right now and I don't know what to do. Like I'm so confused with how Hollywood just finds a way to make scripts out of things like this. Like I can't imagine.
I was just gonna say that I'm curious to see what the story plot's gonna be like now.
Right. And you know what's really sad is that I have a feeling that this movie, it's at like a 95% chance that this movie is going to be really horrible and I'm going to spend my money anyway and I'm just
Stop it!
Just
Don't,
to be
don't do
curious,
yeah,
go to the dollar theater. That's what I say. Make it a
it's
dollar theater
ridiculous.
night. Go to one of those theaters where it only charges like $3 or something like that, and
Yeah.
save your money just to be certain. Just to be
Yeah.
certain.
But I'm sorry for like Railroad. I just like all I heard was Makita, what do you have to talk about today? I'm like, what? But I have another story anyway, so whatever.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you about this game real quick. Go on, touch
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I figured what we'll do. Pakita already gave like half her segment right there. What we'll do is we'll see what Jason's getting into in the IT corner. We'll jump into some adventures of bungeoneering, like I said before, and then we'll do a little bit, and then we'll kind of end off the show, kind of rolling into Lord of the Rings, kind of in celebration of the new game, Shadows of Mordor, that's coming out today.
AKA Booyakasha.
And of course, they splurged. I hate you right now, son. All I
Dude,
saw
I'm a
was glare.
loser.
That's all I saw.
I'm a loser. You know how I am. I'm loading it up right now. I probably would have downloaded it, but like I wanted the box art for this one. It had some cool stuff, so I went out and picked it up this afternoon.
Yeah, I probably won't splurge on it until Friday when I get my breaks done.
I know. Ugh. I hear you.
But
Bills.
yes,
I have
Yeah.
bills.
I'll be chopping some orcs' heads off tonight. Scoop, scoop, scoop.
boo. Make sure you stream it, son. So we
I
let
am.
people.
I actually
We'll let people
plug
know.
that
You
real
need to
quick.
you need to
Geekswagg,
send me.
Twitter,
Hey, hold on, shut up.
30, gonna be
Shut
there
up, nigga.
after the show, son.
Send me like your Twitch channel like thing, because I don't think I can't even remember if you sent it to me before. And what I'll
Yeah.
do is I'll stick it like on the show notes and stick it on the page. We'll tweet it out. We'll give it the whole rubber dubs treatment and everything, so people will go over there and watch you, and then get tired of listening to you, and then be like, okay, that's good enough. Click.
Yeah, I got
Like, there's
jokes
no
and jokes.
chicken. There's no
There's the
chicken in
jokes.
this feed.
No,
Daggone it, click.
He's
There's
not
no
eating
chicken.
chicken. No, not today. I'm not eating chicken. I already ate all the chicken. Actually, I haven't. I still got more. And I want
So
to eat
yeah,
it really bad.
let us know about your PlayStation TV and Windows 10 news, my
So,
brother.
what have you guys heard about the PlayStation TV so far? Anything?
Not really. I mean, I've seen it all around the place, but I was kind of confused at what it was, what was being
What it
offered.
actually was, right? And you know what? It's so
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that because
Really?
everybody, everybody that I've talked to don't know what the hell PlayStation TV is. Okay, I didn't even know. I'm like, I gotta go look this up. This is crazy. I don't know what it. And
It's a Sony television with PlayStation thing in the back
actually,
integrated.
here's a kicker. It don't even play TV. That's what's so funny about it.
What?
That's what kills me. It's called PlayStation TV, but there's no. I mean, there's video aspects of it, but there's no. It doesn't act. I would think you'd probably buy this and maybe hook it into a DVR, some kind of TV service or whatever. No,
Right.
actually, it's
Well,
basically.
daggone it, the anticipation's killing me. Tell me what the hell it is, son.
All right, PlayStation TV basically this in Japan it's called PlayStation Vita TV. So basically it's a small little box. It's about the size of a Vita, okay? And it has a custom card slot inside where you can stick a memory card in there with Vita games and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's you guys ever what it kind of reminds me of? You ever go like to the mall and then you buy one of those little small boxes that have like 900 Nintendo games on it?
Right.
Oh,
You plug it in. That's
yeah.
kind of what I get from this. So at launch, It's supposed to have 700 games on this thing, right? And you can do remote play with your PS4, only with the PS4. In
No Vita?
US, no, no,
That doesn't make any sense.
no. And it supports it's going to support PS3 and PS4 remote controls, so you can hook those up if you have those already. It's roughly going to be about $100 for it, so which isn't bad. I thought it was going to have a higher price point, but it's not going to be bad at all. So about $100, and you're going to get PS Vita and PS games that you're going to be able to stream on them right away.
Oh, so it's a streaming service thing so that you don't have to have the console.
Right.
And you just plug it to your TV and use the controller and you play. But do you have to? Is it like a subscription service thing? What?
It didn't say that
because that's 700 games for $100. That doesn't seem right.
It doesn't. Right. It doesn't make sense. From what I see from Sony's website, I couldn't find anything about a subscription base. But I'm thinking I think they're going to tie it into their PlayStation Now kind of deal. That's what I think they're going to do. I'm not 100% sure. So and then at the end there they're going to have this I think where they're going to hit you up for the subscription, they're going to have a PlayStation like place where you can play videos. So it's going to be like similar to like a Netflix kind of deal.
Okay.
But it's going to be Sony's proprietary jam there. So
Sony Flicks.
I don't know. They're probably going to have mad kung fu movies, which I'd be into.
That would be tight. They need a kung fu channel.
So like the PlayStation TV thing just threw me off because I thought it was a TV service, but getting into it, it's just like it's a PSP.
It's basically on live.
Right. Pretty much.
For PlayStation.
Right, for PlayStation. And it's small too. I mean, it's about the size of a Vita, so you can take it to your friend's house, your friend's house, your mama's house, whatever, and knock yourself out. So that's it for PlayStation TV. Like I said, about 100 bones.
Did they say how? I mean, when is it supposed to release here? I know it's probably out in Japan now, right?
I don't believe it's out yet.
It's not out yet. Oh.
No, it's not out yet. It's coming to Japan. That's what I was looking for, release date too. I really couldn't find anything solid, so I don't know if a release date has been announced.
They're probably waiting until they finish the beta or whatever with PlayStation Now. Have they finished that yet?
I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't heard anything about the beta for PlayStation Now. But I thought that was coming fairly soon. I thought it was coming like early 2015.
Interesting.
You're going to see that. And the next big thing I got is Windows 10. Shocker. All right. So I'm sitting there typing, and I see this email fly across, and they're like, oh, Windows 10. I'm like, what happened to Windows 9?
That's true. I don't even remember what the last Windows was named.
Does they skip a because I'm geeked. I can't wait to get the new Windows OS. So basically, they haven't said this, but I think they're just skipping over the 9 and going straight to 10. And they have a couple new cool features. It's going to be available. I believe they said this week you can sign up, and you can download like the beta. So if you're brave, you can go get it.
Oh Lord! So let me guess. It requires like 16 megs of RAM in order for you to load, and then like another 20 RAM for you to actually be able to do something.
Right, and then you're going to need a firewall.
Stuff, right?
Right, you're going to need a firewall with a VPN key, and you're going to need your own data center, a backup generator, and 2 aliens arm wrestling on a table for it to work. That's basically what you got. So this is scheduled to release next year, and they've made some interesting stuff. They've had a new start menu. So basically, the Windows 8 start menu, they're gonna pretty much bring it back to like Windows 7, but it's gonna also incorporate the Windows 8 start menu. So it has a whole new look and feel to it. They got multiple desktops now, which is nice, but gotta say Mac and Unix been doing that for a long time, so that's kind of a bite. And you're gonna have some new snap features that they were showing off, where you can snap instead of 2 things to your desktop. Now you can do 4. Yay! So if you have a really big screen and you're geeked out and you have like a 30-inch monitor, you can go crazy. All right.
Right.
So basically that's pretty much for Windows 10. They didn't give really a lot of detail on it, so probably in the next few days I'm gonna jump back on the site and download it, and I'll probably be beta testing it for the next probably a couple months or so until it drops.
Interesting. It sounds like it'll be uber complicated and, probably not do much of anything that anyone really wants it to, but it'll probably end up, having like 10 million extra things like, oh, that's interesting. Why don't I try that? But I will probably never use that more than like twice.
The only thing that I was geeked about was the start menu. I don't know why they took that away in the first place. Start menu is back, and it incorporates the old Windows 7 Classic style plus the Windows 8.1 view together. So I think a lot of people are going to be psyched just to have that back. So that's it for Dirty's segment. Pass it on to the brown scissor, yeah, boo, yay, boo. Yay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we will try to delve into a bit of adventures in bungeoneering, the one thing that I do seem to know about a little bit, just a little bit. One of the interesting things that I noticed that engineers have been working on, and it's even more than just engineers. I guess you could just say scientists also have been working on. A company called Firsthand has been developing this virtual reality game, and some people probably might have heard of this because they've been talking about it for the last couple of years. But there's this virtual reality game that they use called Snow World that they use for like military patients and burn victim patients as a sense of pain relief. They were showing a video of how a particular Marine that was inside one of those bomb unit cars or trucks, and it ran over a bomb, and like he had like 80 or 90% of his body burnt.
Wow.
And during the recovery process, the worst part of his recovery process was all the physical therapy. It was like he could handle, he could get used to eating, and after a while, of course, after the swelling went down. But anytime they had to do any physical therapy, of course, he had to move and start doing stuff. And he was like, the pain was excruciating.
Okay.
So he got tired of actually having to use drugs. He was like, I don't want to be doped up on morphine all the time. So he kept encouraging them to try to figure out if they could use something else. So this company came in, and they were basically using that whole psychological treatment of, hey, look over there, just kind of distract you, or distracting your nervous system so that you're able to concentrate on that rather than actually concentrate on the pain. Mind over matter. So basically all it is they take virtual reality goggles and like a mouse, and it's almost as if it's like to me when I looked at it, it looked more like almost like a first person shooter. But what they did was they integrated like really relaxing music. Instead of shooting things, you're throwing snowballs at stuff. It's got penguins and nice little animals, and it's a nice little environment, and it basically just distracts whoever is using it from the physical therapy that they're doing. And they were like, they got not rave, I guess the word I'm looking for is they got really, really great results for burn victim units. So they've been using this virtual reality stuff not only for pain relief, but they're of course trying to use that same tactic for like phobias. So they would take virtual reality and they would put people in certain situations to face their fears.
Okay.
So they're starting to use virtual reality in a lot of different ways, especially in psychological treatment and pain relief. Mm-hmm. So I'll definitely try to put that link so you people can go and take a look at what this company Firsthand has been doing. But it's pretty interesting. And the other thing I have is about makerspace. Have either of you guys heard about makerspace engineering in schools before?
No.
Not
I
at
don't
all.
think Jason's there. Where's oh, he's muted.
He's muted. Ha! You suck,
He doesn't
Jay.
want
We
to
don't
hear
want.
you.
But
I was trying to be nice and not eat my chicken in your ear.
Oh, you know what? That is so kind.
that
Thank you.
is so nice of you.
All right. If you
Very,
guys
very
want to hear
nice
me
of you.
smack my lips, it's okay. But
No,
I am
I don't want to
starving.
hear you
No,
smacking
no,
Starving
thank
lips.
you.
ass.
No, we don't want to hear the chicken.
I'm
So,
triple tasking.
triple tasking. Yes, I'm not even sure if that's a thing. But anywho,
Mhm.
basically all makerspace is, I'm sure you guys have heard about the 3D printers, right?
Hmm.
So they basically will take 3D printers, and nowadays you can make just about anything out of it. There's actually been people that have made fully functioning weaponry out of 3D printers. And basically, all these 3D printers are is it takes like a 3D space. They're of course different sizes, and they have X, Y, and Z coordinates, and they basically take a program um, that will cause a little robot arm to feed different kinds of plastics into like a needle, and it makes a 3D model of whatever it is that you program it to make. So I was looking on Edutopia, one of the sites I typically frequent, and basically they're taking the kids are taking these 3D printers and they're using programs like Minecraft, like where they'll make something in Minecraft and they'll take a program that will translate whatever they made in Minecraft into a 3D printer kind of coordinate system, and then that 3D printer will make whatever that is. And kids are taking these 3D printers and they're coupling it with other technology, like other chipsets that they can program, and little small robotics so that they can make little robotic things. One kid made like a little um, almost like a Star Trek looking pin that goes on his chest that anytime the lights would go out, it would light up.
Oh, that's cool.
So I mean, kids in middle school are using these little makerspace kind of things, and it's something that they're trying to introduce more so in schools so that they can revive like home. You remember home ec and shop class?
Hmm.
It's like a evolved version of home ec and shop class where you'd actually be able to build and do robotics and make all different kinds of things using these 3D printers. And
Hmm.
it's an interesting little fad. This kind of, I don't want to say it's sweeping the nation, but a lot of schools are trying to get little makerspace portions of their schools in like middle schools and high schools nowadays. And it's definitely something uh, that we should look out for. That I think it would be a great way to get kids interested in science and computer science and that kind of thing, because it's hands-on and deals with programming and such. So it's great.
Hmm.
It's great, great, great
Wow.
stuff.
That's cool. I wish I
So
was
yes,
doing that.
me too. I was like, where was this when I was in school? I was like, oh yeah, they barely had computers when I was in school. So they didn't
Yeah,
have no
I mean,
3D
like
printers. So
when I was in school, we had like prehistoric computers. Like we were running on DOS. You know what I'm saying? Like we had
yeah,
home and control this, go back to such and such and such.
yep,
We didn't
run
have that.
directory.
Yeah, and we had like one exactly run, yeah. And we only had like maybe one Mac computer that could play games, so people would just, try to finish their work fast so they can get on that one.
Yep.
And then they had home ec in high school where you learn how to sew, you know how to do basic stuff that a lot of people don't know how to do now. But now that we're in the computer age, I would definitely love to take those classes. They're pretty fortunate.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a nice little fad that's going around, but we'll see how quickly it kind of permeates its way into schools around the country. Because of course, the school that they were referring to in the little Edutopia video was in like California, so
Um,
they've got all the
okay.
technology and iPads and all kinds of stuff in all the schools out that way. But
Yeah.
so Makita, the Makita session. I don't know. I'm gonna figure something out for your segment.
I
We
don't.
got to get some
We should
segment names
figure it
here.
out. I guess the news section. I guess I don't know. Popular news. I already went through my whole Tetris TV rant in which I thought that my segment started, and I just zoomed into it. And BJ's like, "So yeah, yup,"
Yeah.
but we didn't start yet. And I was like, "Oh snap, okay."
But it's
But
okay. That's the pre-news.
that's the
Free you.
pre-news. That's the that's a little appetizer you got there.
There you
Okay,
go.
so in other news,
And by the way, that's a cool shirt, the Final Fantasy shirt. I love that shirt.
oh, thank you, thank you. I try to wear epic shirts every day, but
Yes. Try to
yeah,
wear epic collars every day. Sorry.
a nice polo shirt.
Oh, don't you let
Uh,
me pull out my lanyard, son.
oh
No.
gosh, here we go.
Yeah, there we yeah.
But yeah, Blizzard is now trying to get World of Warcraft into the competitive gaming world. What's basically happening is, have you guys heard of the game Hearthstone, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. That's really big when it comes to spectator events, and
Yep.
so now they are trying to find a formula to bring World of Warcraft into esports. I don't know how they're going to do it because a lot of people are all right. Already, what they have is they have where people watch. I guess it's called rating. Excuse me. I like it was escaping my mind. But people watch raids, but it's not really competitive like where it's like one team against the other or just like for points or anything like that. So what Blizzard is trying to do is go down the same path. They're trying to make it as popular as Hearthstone. Will it happen? I think they're gonna try and force a square cube into a circle.
Right.
That's what they're gonna try and do. They've been working really hard on trying to make it happen, and I think that when it does happen, I think they're gonna have a crowd that's already, I guess, loyal to World of Warcraft. I would be curious because I used to play World of Warcraft, and little known fact, I had to have a family intervention.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I had to have a family intervention because I was like calling out from work, or if I did go to work, I would play World of Warcraft and I would sleep for maybe 30 minutes, shower, go to work, come back, and jump back on the computer just to play more World of Warcraft. But anyway,
Nikita.
yeah,
Yo.
life, my family had to like stop me, and they were like, "Look, you're gonna lose your job," because I was like, "I'm sick. Goodbye. I'm sick. Goodbye." But I'd be on the computer. Moving on. We'll talk about that later. But yeah,
That was somebody else. That was you.
that was someone else. That was another me. That was my past.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're gonna try and make it work. I think they're gonna have. I feel like they're gonna have a loyal crowd at first, but unless they make like a complete restructure or like a separate kind of like, I don't want to say expansion pack because World of Warcraft always has kind of like expansions, where it goes, kind of like what was it, the Lich King expansion, then it went to this whole like new panda race and things like that.
Yep.
I guess maybe an extra DLC, I don't know, that maybe it has like these separate side games. I don't know how they're going to work it in, but as of right now, they don't really have anything to, I wouldn't say not look forward to, but they
They
don't have
haven't figured out
anything
the formula.
solid. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have anything solid to really bring it and say, you guys need to be excited. This is going to be as big as Hearthstone. Be prepared. This is going to be the next big thing in esports. They don't have that right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they want people to be as excited as they are for the kind of like the live raids that I was talking about before at BlizzCon. BlizzCon is basically Blizzard convention.
So this is kind of my question. Are they looking to like create a whole new genre like they did with what was that other game they did? Was that League of Legends or whatever it's called? the MOBA thing? Are they looking to
No,
like?
League of Legends is a totally different company. Oh man, how did I
Because
forget that
I know
name?
that one of the MOBAs, they basically just took, some of the characters from World of Warcraft, from the world of and they made it into a MOBA. But I can't remember which one that was. Which one was it? It's not League of Legends. What's the other one?
Hmm.
I could have sworn they did that on one of them, or that was how it morphed into that particular game. It might
I
not be
am
the same
lost
company.
on that. I wish my friend Justin was on here. It's like I have another writer who's Justin. He is like
Uh
really into games like that, like MOBA games and stuff.
huh. Uh
He would probably know. I bet you I'll either by the end of the show I'll figure it out, or if I find out, I'll just have you guys like link it or whatever. But
huh. Basically.
yeah, but yeah, this it's I don't know. It's just I can understand why they want to they kind of want more popularity, but they're already popular. World of Warcraft has been out for over a little over a decade now, and they're
Right.
doing fine as it is. I think that what they need to do is they kind of just need to let Hearthstone be Hearthstone and let it have its own niche, and let World of Warcraft have its own niche. There's no need to like make a cross and then they both have to do the whole like esports thing. Just let them have their
Oh,
own.
real quick. I'm sorry. I just found it.
Oh, you did.
It's called Heroes of the Storm. It's Blizzard's MOBA.
Oh, I feel
Yeah,
like that sounds
that's what it was.
familiar.
Yeah, it's their, it's just their version. They basically took stuff from, like Diablo, Hearthstone, and StarCraft and World of Warcraft, and I think they kind of merged a lot of those heroes into Heroes of the Storm and made it into their MOBA. Just so you know.
Oh, gotcha.
That's right,
That's what I
son.
was thinking of.
Don't touch my MOBA.
But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Oh, okay. Same word. Good timing.
Yay!
Oh, Lord have mercy. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we have educated you guys on just about everything we can educate y'all on. Um, Jason, why don't you kind of fill us in since we're doing like a halfway celebration of Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and everything, with Shadows of Mordor dropping today, dropping all over your Xbox One,
Right
installing
now.
all its installing all its goodness all over your hard drive.
uh, so
So
what did you
what?
want me
So like what was it about Shadows of Mordor that just pulls you to it? Because I know what it was for me, but since you bought it and everything, I'm gonna make you talk about it.
Right. Well, no, I can. Actually, I think we all saw it at E3, and I was kind of blown away by some of the, just the visuals that I saw. Because I'm a huge, huge Lord of the Ring fan. I even got a sword, son. That's for next year. I'm going to show you my sword, and I don't mean that
Ew,
kind of sword. I'm
no,
going to show you my
no,
sword. It's
don't do that,
beautiful.
please, no.
So after E3 dropped and I saw this game, I did a little bit of research on it, and at the time there wasn't much. But in the last few weeks, even on your Xbone, they had some clips out there of stuff that that they were doing in the game, and a couple of things that really got me was the system. They have the system in there where the orcs that you're fighting,
Hmm.
if you lose like a fight to some random orc, his character levels up in the game, and you can meet him later on in the game and fight him again. So even when you die, you get it's pretty exciting. So you could take something from them and they can take from you. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they also have this other system in there, which I thought even blew me away more than that was when you get to a certain point in the game, you can possess through your companion, you can possess some of the orcs, and you can either choose to kill them or possess them. If you possess them, they can move up in the rank within the orcs, and you can have a minion within them, and you can use him. So I thought, bringing that's a new dynamic to games I haven't seen before. So I'm excited to get in there, check that system out, and play it. Also, I mean, the gameplay looks fantastic. I mean, a lot of people are comparing it to Batman, Arkham City, the combat style. And of course, there's there's a lot more gore to it, chopping heads, doing backflip stuff, and there's a whole leveling up system on there, and it's supposed to be a big open space you can roam around in. So
just to give people an idea about the storyline, because I mean, of course, that's the big draw for this game. The storyline itself is supposed to really challenge the whole storyline that we know about Lord of the Rings, really, because apparently the whole story is based around another ranger.
Yes.
But he was killed or something like that, and he was brought back as a wraith or something like that.
Right. He's brought back as a wraith.
Figure out why.
Why exactly? So I haven't gotten into that. That's probably like in another 45 minutes I'll be getting into that. But essentially the game starts off that you're a ranger. The same. I'm gonna get a little geeky in about 2 seconds. What's his name? Oh God, now I can't remember his name. Aragon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're from like the same clan. So he's one of the rangers that he came from. And if you watch Two Towers, they go into that a little bit. The extended edition, they go into a little bit of who the Rangers are and how they mixed with elves, so they live a lot longer than regular humans do.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of them. Apparently, he gets killed, and an elf comes back. That's like a wraith and brings him back to life. And they go questing.
Nice.
That's what we're excited about, going questing.
So this is supposed to take place in between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings saga. So it's
you got it.
In between, right before Aragorn does all of his craziness, and after Bilbo does all his craziness and all that other kind of stuff. So
all that stuff.
It's right, and a little time period.
Spoiler alert: Gollum is supposed to be in there somewhere too. So he has He has a small little part in there, which I heard is pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that piece too.
Right. Before the Rings of Power are really back in the what's the word I'm looking for? Back in the forefront of the storyline, I guess you would say.
Right.
Again. So that's pretty cool. So with that said, since Jason, you are, I guess, our so-called Lord of the Ring expert. It's pretty interesting that Tolkien has been able to develop this world, and it's basically dominated fantasy for Lord. I can't even remember how many years. It's just
when did that book come out? What, the 60s? Was it the 60s or something like that?
It's something like that.
Yeah,
but,
it's pretty old book.
Yeah, it's like the basis for Dungeons and Dragons. They made it so that they could go, further delve into Tolkien's realms and all the different. I mean, he was really a what's the word I'm looking for? He studied languages.
Yes.
So when he was doing Lord of the Rings and creating all these characters and stuff, he honestly created real languages for like dwarves and orcs and elves.
They're all actually real languages. I think in some,
which is amazing.
Yeah, like right now I think there's probably some college courses that actually teach you how to speak Elvish.
And
give me a break. Really?
I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is wacky, but yeah, I mean to be able to come up with a whole language for a book, that's pretty impressive. And the depth and detail, if you ever read the books, I mean they're pretty good. And Peter Jackson, I always thought he did a really, really good job bringing that to life. Because I mean, like,
so what was it that
I couldn't imagine it any other way.
What was it that actually got you to read the books? Because I know for me, when I was looking into it initially, the first book I was given was like the worst book to give a kid in order to get into Tolkien, and that's what's it called, the Silmarillion.
The Silmarillion.
Yeah, that's like the worst read.
Yeah,
in the history of mankind.
Yeah, if you want like information on a lot of the backstory, that's great. but you would really have to read all the other literature to kind of keep up with that. So it'd be like, huh? So that's not really, it would be, you wouldn't get it. But what got me into the book, I remember I was about 8 or 9. I was like in what, the third or fourth grade, whatever. One of our reading assignments was to read The Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I got into it, and I read The Hobbit. And, I went through it a few times, and I actually started liking the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into The Lord of the Rings, and started reading those books. So when the movie came out, I was psyched. So I had to go back and get back into it. And as an adult, I think I actually enjoyed it more.
Yeah. Honestly, let's see if I can even remember. When I was a kid, unfortunately, like I said before, the Silmarillion, they gave me that book. My sister gave me that book. I think she was reading through like the whole trilogy, and I couldn't stand it. And I wasn't interested in the least until I saw they had a cartoon version of The Hobbit a long time ago. I think that might have even been in the 70s.
Yeah, they played it
in
in
the early 80s or something like that.
Yeah, they played it around Christmas time.
They did? Yeah. And honestly, I watched it like a couple of years ago, and it doesn't hold up very well. But it was appealing. It was back then because it had a lot of songs. Is it the one that was
like a musical? Yeah, the musical one. Yeah, it was
it was a musical.
50% of it was like singing.
Yeah, and the singing was really I don't know why I liked it. Let me just put it that way. But since I was a kid and it was musical, apparently
but that's what the books were
appealed to me.
Right. In the books, there's a lot of singing.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. There's a lot of songs in there. So in a sense, it made sense that they were doing it that way because in the book they had a lot of different songs. But visually, it brought me into the world. So once I got a bit older and was able to recognize that that's not the book to read, I started reading The Hobbit and the rest of the other books and got into it. And then there was one more movie that came out not too long after that was also animated, and I think it was done by the same group of people. Did you guys ever see this one Christmas animated short that was called The Snowman?
No.
That used to come on a long time ago. It was, it had all it had was music, and the animation was very fluid and lifelike when they did it. So, it was very appealing. I was like, oh wow, this is cool. This is animation, but not really animation, right?
Is it the claymation stuff?
No, it's not claymation. It's actual. I think what they did was they took real people, and then they animated over the people that were acting certain things, and they did that style for Lord of the Rings, and it was the first movie depiction of Fellowship of the Ring. So the movie that they did all of Fellowship of the Ring and a portion of Two Towers, the beginning portion of Two Towers, and which is why they didn't call the movie Fellowship of the Ring. They just went out and called it Lord of the Rings. And the animation, was really, really, it was so fluid and so lifelike. And of course, for Western audiences, that kind of animation wasn't normal. We were all used to Disney kind of animation and stuff as being the pinnacle animation here in the West. But of course, in Japan, they got all kinds of stuff. So for people that weren't used to anime style animation, this was blowing people's minds. They were the ones that saw it. But the problem is it only went, like I said, into Two Towers, the beginning portion, and it stopped. And they didn't do another one. I guess the little movie that they didn't do well enough for them to continue it. But, I was pissed off. I was like, look, this is awesome. I can actually understand more of the book after watching the movie. And, because when I was a kid, as a kid, reading those books is hard.
Yeah, they're really tough.
I had to have an encyclopedia that was this thick that explained all the different names. I'd look up the name and it's okay, who the hell is Malamananatir? I was like, oh, okay, he's the dude that lives off in the north. Okay, here's a map. It had maps and all other kind of stuff.
And a lot of the names were similar. That's what used to get me.
Yeah, you confuse people left and right.
Yeah.
And so I had that handy encyclopedia that was, right next to me as I read through each one of those. But, at the age that I read them, it was still hard to process. So it was like those movies were the one thing that kind of cleared up a lot of the fog as I was reading it. And after that, that kind of built my love for it because of how in-depth it was and how well the movie was done. So, as time went on, I would gravitate towards anything that would pull me more into it, that would, help explain these stories, because reading the books for me at that time when I was at that age, it was too difficult. So, they'd have little strategy video games, that kind of played out some of the battle scenes. But most of those were, pretty bad. I remember having one that I played all the time that did like the battle where the Ents came out of the forest, and Isengard, all the hordes of Isengard were coming, and then they had like a Hobbit army that came and helped out, and then they had the Rohan came, horses and everything, and they just kind of all merged together in like a little 8-bit mess in the center of the screen, and just kind of went like this, poosh, 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 and people would start disappearing after a while, and you're like, okay, what am I actually doing to actually, make this strategy work? And I don't think I could ever figure it out in that game, but I played it a lot because I liked Lord of the Rings. But after that time period, I can't even remember the last time. I can't remember that many games after that really went into Lord of the Rings, because at that time, role-playing games, there were just so many different ones. Bard's Tale, or they were all, or anything from Dungeons and Dragons. They were all biting off of Lord of the Rings in the way that whole storyline was set up. So, like Jason said, when Peter Jackson, jumped into it and started saying, okay, I'm making this exactly like the books as much as possible. Everybody's just went, all the fan heads just went. They were like, oh my gosh, he's doing it the right way. So
yeah, I mean, that would have been a big disappointment if he didn't. I mean, a lot of movies get ripped apart that way, but
it's like giving George Lucas the reins to Star Wars. Sorry.
Pretty much. Say that. Sorry, George. We love you, son.
Sorry, Georgie.
We do love George. We do.
But yeah, I mean, you think about it now. There's more games and stuff than you can count. Of the Lord of the Rings thing, from the Lego games to Shadows of Mordor.
Well, even not. I mean, not to, but right, Star Wars. I mean, it's not it's not some distant ancient world, but like a lot of the way Star Wars is written reminds me of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's got shades of it in there, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of it's. I think it comes from a lot of his stuff. Even some of the books you see today that are starting to get popular, and they're turning them into movies. It's a lot of essence of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a whole lot of walking.
Yep.
Walking.
Why don't we just take the Eagles?
Go to the volcano. Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, look, Gandalf needs to talk to these eagles and be like, look, I'm gonna give you some juices and berries and some nuts, some mutant rats or something for you to eat, and then just take us all the way to the daggone volcano so we don't have to do all this walking, please.
Fly over it, drop the ring in.
Journey. It's about the journey.
Yeah, well, apparently it is, because that journey was something else. I'm serious. Two Towers, when I was reading that book, was god awful. There was like half of that book that I was like, Tolkien, are you serious? You're like describing every little rock that he walks over and all this other kind of stuff. I'm like, dude, come on, man, just say that he walked for 10 years between here and here. You don't have to describe, oh, he went over the rock and he rolled over the rock. The rock hit him upside the head and he got some dust on his hands. And he decided, oh, Sam, I want to eat some leafy greenies. Yes, and we should sit and eat here. So he took the rabbit's head and he ripped it off and he drank its blood. And all this other, I'm like, daggone it, man. We don't want to know what he ate every single time and all this other kind of stuff. Just show Gollum jumping on him, punching him a few times.
Okay, man, don't get upset. That was just a chronic talking. That's all.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was so glad when I finished reading The Two Towers. It was not even funny.
Yeah, Two Towers was the longest one out of all the books. I mean, that was really long.
God awfulness. It really was. Sorry, Tolkien, but dude.
You know, it's so funny when you guys talk about this stuff because, like, I've never read the books. I watched them. I watch Lord of the Rings. I watch all three of them, and I can barely remember them. I knew that they I remember that I did love. I remember. No, I loved Lord of the Rings. I do remember that I was bored here and there with Two Towers.
Right.
And what was the third one is Return of the King, right? Or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, Return of the King. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Finally, this is going to end. Because, I just, after I did Two Towers, Two Towers was entertaining, but, like I said, it had its slow moments. But I kind of just wanted for the story
to get there.
Kind of wrap things up. Let's go.
Yeah.
But now that you guys are talking about it, I only remember vaguely what happened during Lord of the Rings. I remember when Gollum bit off his finger when they had that epic fight. I remember when that huge spider bit into Frodo. It was Frodo, right?
Jello.
It was Frodo.
Yep.
I remember when I don't even know this guy's name. I know he was in love with the elf chick, and she gave him.
Oh yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Aragorn and what's her
Right.
name? Gwen. That's not Gwen.
It's Liv Tyler.
Yes, Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler. Elvis.
Arwen.
Yes.
Right.
That's the one.
I remember when Legolas was sliding on a shield down some stairs and shooting and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember. I don't really remember much of that movie at all. I don't know.
And honestly, that's kind of the way. Because honestly, for me, when I was reading the whole saga, The Hobbit for me was the highlight of the whole saga for me. Because for me, The Hobbit was one nice little adventure in one book, and that's what it was, an adventure. He went through. Bilbo went through a lot of stuff in that one book, and it had the big war at the end. It had all, it had all the spiders. It had
dragons.
It had all the trolls and all that other kind of stuff. It had dragons. You went through all this different stuff all in one book. He found the ring. You didn't know what the ring was for, and that was always a mystery. And he turned invisible. It was all this stuff all in that one book. And for me, that was the pinnacle of the whole saga right there. And between that and all the little singing in the cartoon, it was just perfect. So watching the movies now, I was like, okay, why are they stretching this thing out to be 3 movies? Because they did 3 movies for Lord of the Rings, and it was only one book. How can you make one book into 3 movies? But of course, they found a way to do it.
Dude, that last movie that's coming out, I would think about 2 hours of it is just going to be fighting.
Yes, they're just pretty much all it's going to be.
Battle scenes out to tomorrow.
Because that's not really. I mean, that's almost all there is left in the daggone movie.
Basically,
the story.
Right.
Unless
Basically,
they,
they're on. That's the end of the book.
Yeah,
I would
unless
think
they reveal more after,
unless they do something after that.
Storyline after that.
Basically, all you have is he's going to Lake Town and there's fighting, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think movie time. If I was doing it, you probably have a half an hour left.
Well, no, not really, because they have to. The dragon has to destroy the town.
Right.
They have to kill the dragon.
Yeah, but that can be quick.
They have to. Well, yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be quick. They can stretch that out for 45 minutes.
Showing him scooping people up, tossing them off the tower.
Yeah, eating them and saying, tastes like chicken. And then after that, then they got to say, we want to go, and they have to go back into the dwarven home, and say, "Yay, we're home!" Roll
Right.
around in all the gold, and then everybody get all pissed off and upset, and say, "We want the gold, we helped you," and then all of a sudden, big war. It'll take them another hour just to get back to the actual war.
Mhm.
At the other end of the movie. So it'll probably be close to 2.5, 3 hours. I can see them
Which
stretching it out.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it's gonna be great though. I'm gonna be there. I saw the last one in IMAX with my son. Took a day off. We went and got the huge bag of popcorn and watched the movie. And he got all geeked up when he saw the dragon. He was like, "Oh, Dad, look!" It like vibrated the theater and everything. He was all geeked up and was like, "Yeah, the dragon, Dad, the dragon." I was like, "Yeah, it's coming, it's coming." But it's an exciting story. So it was interesting to see how they did the Lord of the Rings, movies, and how they managed to pull off all those different scenes and make it somewhat interesting. But yeah, those Lord of the Rings books, oh my goodness, they were
Yeah,
killing me.
they could be a tough read.
They were killing me. But nice, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is probably all we have to educate you guys on. As usual, I will try to do a better job at getting the show notes together so that everything that we talked about today, you'll have nice little, links and pictures and all that other fluffery so that you actually be able to see and recognize all the things and source material that we start talking about. So you'll be able to verify that what Jason was talking about is really truth and not something he made up, that kind of thing. That's important. Don't believe everything that you read on the internet or anything that Jason says. It's just one of those things. Always get a second opinion. But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, Makita, let the people know what you got going on Z Gamer Online for us.
Okay. Well, once again, every week it seems like I'm mentioning New York Comic Con. It's getting closer. I think we have
Yes.
like 2 weeks.
Well,
Two
see
weeks
that's the
left.
thing. The next show we kind of got to do a pre-show podcast thing because next Tuesday I'll be like right before Comic Con, so
Right
we should
before
do like a
Comic Con.
pre-show kind of thing and get into as much as we can. Then.
Yes,
But yeah, let them
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, so I'm going this year as press, and I have so much planned. I'm not going to tell you everything, but Resident Evil and Monster Hunter fans should definitely be on the lookout. I'm going to be having a hands-on at the Capcom booth, so that will definitely be something that I'll be writing on, and maybe possibly I'll be able to get some footage, some live footage at New York Comic Con, and I'm going to do my best to try to get as many interviews as possible. But some side news is I have my own YouTube channel. I know you guys have your whole like upload thing, but I have my own YouTube channel, and I have been playing quite a few games lately, but one game that has my soul floating out from my body is Never Ending Nightmares. Uh, I've been taping myself. You guys really need to check this game out. It is everybody that I've been linking my videos to have been scared shitless. So yeah, so be on the lookout for that. More videos I'll be uploading as I go along. That and there's a new game that came out, The Vanishing of Ethan Clark. Guys, check this game out. It is absolutely gorgeous. And you play as I I guess he's like a supernatural detective, and you have to use your sixth sense to figure out what clues you have to have next. It's basically like a lot of murders. I can't really explain everything to you, but again, the Vanishing of Ethan Clark. Please check this game out. You will not regret it. It is a must-have.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. So awesome. Z Gamer always has plenty on there about comics, gaming, lots of other stuff. So definitely keep your eyes and ears, since with the whole YouTube-itness, eyes and ears on Makita and all that she's got going on there. Jason, I know you're gonna let people know what you're gonna be getting into probably in what, a few minutes on your
In a
Twitch
few,
channel.
yeah, I'm just gonna do some quick due diligence, and then I'll be on Twitch broadcasting Shadows of Mordor.
So
First
yeah,
time cracking
definitely
it.
make certain
Get
you
it.
shoot out, email me the Twitch channel and all other kind of stuff,
Yes,
and
please do that because I want to
we'll make
watch
sure and send
Yes, I will be sending that out shortly, and we can get loose like
it.
Bruce. Start chopping heads up.
Say word.
It'll be
Awesome.
epic.
Awesome, awesome. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, here at Geekswagg, we are trying our best to see whether or not we can get all kinds of news and information for you guys beyond just this podcast. So if there are definitely any writers out there, we definitely have an open call. We have spaces for volunteers. We have plenty of different avenues that we need help uncovering. So if you guys write, let us know. We are definitely looking for writers to kind of get us some articles, editorials, reviews, the whole nine. We can hook you guys up with different things so that we can grow this whole thing we call Geekswagg, people. But as Makita said before, Comic Con is coming up in another week. Your boy Jason and I are also going to be in attendance. We're going to try to see if we can get a cameraman there as well, so that we can possibly do a video podcast while we're there, as well as get some shiny pictures of all the cosplay and a lot of the other things going on. Just like Makita said, we haven't really been able to divulge the full schedule of everything because there's so much that's going through. But maybe in another few days we'll be able to see what kind of interviews or panels that we'll be able to try to get into, since it's always madness anytime there's a significant panel there at Comic-Con. So as we get more information on what's there and what's going on, we will try to keep you in the know on what we will be updating you guys on. So we'll be there. Just on a personal note, I am trying to get in a bit more so in the comic books. My sister is the comic genius of the family, so she's been buying me all kinds of comic books and graphic novels for me to read. So I've got a few that she gave me for my birthday. One is a new one called Genius. I don't know if you've heard about it, Makita. That's pretty good, by a writer that has done a lot of artwork for a lot of other popular comic books in Marvel and DC, as well as done some writing, I think, on some shows or something like that. I'll have to get the full scoop on that. But Genius, she recommended me to read. She got me the first few issues of that comic, as well as Quixote, I think it's called. Um, the creator of that one, she got autographed for me. So actually, I wonder if I brought. Ah, hold on, I've got it. Hold on a second.
Oh gosh, this guy.
Yeah. See, I was halfway smart. Let's see here. Here is Quixote, Deron Bennett. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is Quixote. She recommended that I read this one, so
Oh,
I
did
will
she get you
try
like an
to.
extra one for reading? Because I hope that you're not planning on
No,
actually taking
I'm
that
not
out.
touching this one. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Sorry. I just had to make
This is for
sure.
y'all to go and read. This is my copy. And here is Genius. She wasn't able to get this one signed for me, but this is Genius on Top Cow, and the writers and artists are here. Mark Byrne, and see, I'm reading it backwards right now because I say Adam Freeman, Afua Richardson, and Mark Bernardin. She got me like four. I think it's like I don't know if it's a long running
Oh, I
series
love
or a mini
that.
series.
I
So
love that. I love that. That's cool looking.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna be getting into this soon. This was my birthday present. So this is issue 3 right here. And
What company makes that? What's the publisher? Oh, it's Image.
Top Cow and Image. It's like
Oh, wow.
a thing that both of them are getting into. So
Hmm.
yeah, she went to the Baltimore Comic-Con a few weeks ago, and she like took a picture with the guy that plays Chewbacca, and got all kinds of autographs and comic books and stuff. And I conned her into getting me some comic books, and one of the ones that I was looking for that has a killer story, and you guys know me, I love Joker, was this one. And I've heard a lot of good things about Death of the Family.
Let me see how thick that is. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's got the whole series of she got it for $5. One guy, these things run for like 30, $35 or whatever
Yeah.
usually. So she got this for $5 for me. I was like, why didn't you give me more? What's wrong with you? But she was
Greedy.
like, yeah, of course. Why not? For $5, I'll pay her back if she can't. She doesn't want to buy me anymore. She also got me Nightwing, which is like I'm sorry, not Nightwing, Batwing, which is like the African version of Batman.
Hmm.
That they start a series that they started. I forget back when it was. Batwing: The Lost Kingdom is what it was called. So I've got a lot of reading to do, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you'll start seeing some reviews and stuff of some of these coming on Heat Magazine, as well as other avenues. Once I finish reading one of them, I might see if Makita lets me put an article on her site, depending on if it's good enough. So we'll see. We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for showing up with us. You'll definitely be able to catch all the other, adventures of Bungeoneering and the IT sessions and, pop news. We're gonna call it something else, Makita. We gotta call it something else.
Something.
Grim something, Grim Tales or something like that. But we thank you guys so much for being here with us. And this is your boy Bunny 3000 along with
The Grim
Dirty.
Freaker.
yeah, both of them because they like to say things in unison. But but yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us. And like we said before, next week be right here, 8 o'clock. All right, here, 8 o'clock. Till then,
Your house?
love y'all. No, not my house. I'm not making chicken. Your house.
Chicken will be gone by the time you get here.
Alrighty, say bye to the people, y'all.
Bye, people.
Bye.